Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining us for the first half of our video on the stimulus checks. Be on the lookout for a second video where Ann's going to talk more about how to use your stimulus check in a wise way during this time. Make sure to post any questions that you have and we'll be sure to answer those as well as we can. Thanks so much. See you soon. Hey everybody, this is Bryce and Clark and Ann coming to you. We are wanting to bring you a resource on the new stimulus bill that's been passed by Congress this past week. That's going to be sending, as a part of it, stimulus checks to American households. We want to make sure you have a resource on how to get those checks, on how to make sure you know what to expect, and just thinking through how we can wisely use some of that money during this difficult time. I know some of you have been affected in terms of your income by the coronavirus, and some of you may still be working and your income hasn't changed. So we want to think through for different scenarios what ways you can use this stimulus check to move towards financial health during this time. So we have Clark Grantham with us, who's a volunteer at Advance. He has been in 3 different faith and finances classes with us, and he works at FedEx. And Clark, could you just kind of start out by telling us a little bit about what the stimulus bill is?
Yeah, thanks, Bryce. So, as Bryce mentioned, because of the effects of the coronavirus pandemic on the global and the U.S. economy, Congress got together last week, and on Friday, a bill was signed into law called the CARES Act, Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act. That law provides $2.2 trillion for businesses and individuals impacted by the resulting slowdown in the economy. Specifically, there are provisions and money being made available for big business, small business, and individuals to help us all get through these troubling times. For individuals, the most immediately relevant portion of the law is that it provides direct cash payments to individuals to help meet their immediate needs.
So there's cash payments, just so everybody knows, they're structured in a way that each individual in the U.S. should be receiving a $1,200 check or amount of money if you make less than $75,000 a year. This is based on your last tax return, whether you filed taxes already this year for 2019 or whether you filed for the year 2018 last year. They'll go off of your 2018 tax return if you haven't filed yet this year. It's okay if you haven't filed yet this year. But you'll get $1,200 if you make less than $75,000 a year, or if you're married and as a husband and wife you make more than $150,000 a year, then you also would not receive that $1,200 check. The checks phase out after $75,000. So if you make just over that amount, then you're okay. You'll just get a little bit less than the $1,200. They phase out $5 for every $100 you make over $75,000. But if you make less than $75,000 a year, you should expect to get a $1,200 check, or again, if you're married, $1,200 for you and for your spouse, another $1,200 for your spouse, for a total of $2,400. If you have kids that you file on your tax return, you'll also get an extra $500 for each of those children. So this is designed to help us during these, again, like Clark said, these troubling times with the coronavirus. Clark, how can we make sure, what are some steps we can take to make sure that we receive those checks, that the IRS has our right information?
So first, it's important to note that the government agency that's responsible for sending out the checks is the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service. And that's because they have all that taxpayer information. And so that's the most exhaustive listing of everyone that would receive these payments. They're using, as Bryce mentioned, our 2018 and 2019 federal income tax returns. And basically what that means is because they're using tax return information, it's absolutely critical that everyone be sure that the IRS has your most up-to-date information, including address and bank account information in case you do direct deposit. The way to ensure the IRS has your most recent information is simply to file your tax return. If you included your bank account in the return to receive your refund, then you can rest easy knowing that the IRS will deposit the money directly into your account. If you normally receive a physical check for your tax refund, then your stimulus money will also come in the form of a check. However, you should be aware that if you opt to receive a physical check, it could be several months before it arrives in the mail. Most importantly, If your address or bank information has changed since you filed your 2018 tax return, it's probably best to go ahead and file your 2019 tax return as soon as possible. Again, just to make sure they have the most updated information. One other area I'll mention is some may wonder what will happen if they haven't filed a tax return in either 2018 or 2019. And the answer is simple. It's that the IRS will soon be providing a website where individuals can go and file a very simple tax return form to declare their income and provide their most up-to-date address and bank information. And so that'll cover all the folks who haven't, for one reason or another, filed income taxes in 2018 and 2019.
As soon as that becomes available, we'll try and post something with the link to that so that you can know where that simple tax return form is if you have not filed or you don't need to file your taxes.